Hey everybody, welcome back to season 2, episode 22. We're playing House of Reeds. We're doing a not Wild West, but a just pioneer
Yeah.
setting.
Hmm.
This game made me think. So there's a movie that just came out. I haven't seen it yet, but it's getting good reviews. The Witch, or Witches, or something like that, with like VVITH, and it sets in like Salem, Massachusetts. But it's like a pioneering kind of like family kind of thing. And I just realized that like a creepy horror kind of game of this might be really interesting. Or
Oh,
haunted
yeah.
house would be.
I think Adam Coble was talking about it. Like,
Yeah, he just saw it a couple days
Yeah.
ago. Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I noticed some of the cards actually said that like supernatural elements you can include them in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like haunted house or like a creepy thing with a very tight knit group. Very very much a cool idea for this game. But we'll talk about that after. So let's jump back in here. So Hayden, I think it'd be to you because we're starting a new year.
Alrighty. Let's draw that card. Aspire.
Cool.
Who added this card? I forget who added this card.
I did.
Thought it was you.
Yeah, it was Adam.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Family member has distant hopes and ambitions. How?
Oh, this is okay. There's gonna you
Yeah.
got an easy one here.
I might go.
Yeah.
I might go a different direction. Might go the same direction that y'all are thinking. So this is gonna just be Henry. He wants to really wants to go and fight in the war, like really bad. It's like probably 1862-ish now, right?
That's the direction I was
63.
thinking.
Yeah, and then you see him maybe thinking this is like in his headspace, but he's just in the actual real world. He's just polishing his like revolver, sitting in the sitting room, just taking apart, cleaning it, and in his mind he's thinking of like some battlefield in like Georgia or Tennessee or somewhere around there, and just have his pistol and it's seemingly unlimited ammo. He's just gunning down a bunch of
Sure.
of Southerners.
How every 21-year-old thinks war is like, right?
yeah.
Thinking of
He's just
glory
trudging
and
through it.
heroism
He's
instead
playing a lot
of
of
the
Call of Duty
disease
for
and the
sure.
suffering and just
Yeah.
absolute ridiculousness of the
Yeah.
entire situation in Carnage.
Yeah.
Of course.
He's playing Call of Duty 1862 instead.
Yep.
I would actually play that game.
Yeah, I would too. Or it's like Red
Imagine-
Dead Redemption. Yeah.
Could you imagine getting like a bunch of like 14-year-olds to stand in a line though? I would be
No.
that
No.
would never everything would just be jumping up and down. No. it would
Yeah,
just- no one.
Yeah. And I think he goes to try to convince Walter to let him go.
Again, yeah.
Yeah, and that's I think how he's dealing with it now. Is just constantly trying to like wear away at Walter and try to get him to let him go off to fight for the Union.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah.
Awesome.
Deal myself a card. What do we got here? Wow. Move.
Oh,
God.
You can get to move all the time.
I guess
we
so.
got that +1, 2.
I think this one would be I'm having a hard time thinking of something that we haven't already seen yet. But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think perhaps we see Heck Gunderson and like a bald-headed guy in a suit with some like a bifocals come up, and he looks like a Eastern banker kind of guy. He looks very like out of place. Like Heck has a very he has the frontier, but like frontier gentleman.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
But this guy has like, I'm from Chicago fine, you know what I mean? Like that in terms of boots and wear and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's probably not even boots. It's probably just like nice like
Yeah,
loafers or something like
yeah,
that.
exactly, right? Like they're like getting
He's
like
walking in the
muddy.
dirt and he's like,
Yeah,
ugh,
yeah,
my
yeah,
shoes
right.
get ruined now.
Exactly. It's very much like that style of person with him, and he's carrying like a briefcase.
It's not even wearing a duster.
Yeah, absolutely not. No, he's wearing a full suit. And like this, I guess this happens at the hearth and actually around the dinner table. I guess wherever the front door would be. Like they come in,
Yeah.
and it's Walter and Jeffrey, on one side of the table, and it's Heck and this banker guy on the other side of the table, and basically the banker is like, how do you do? My name is Charles Ludwig from Freeman Mason and Jar Associates. We are a financing company, and we're reviewing your mortgage and for the land of this place, and it looks like you're a little bit behind on your payments. And now as a bank, we're entitled to take over your property if we wanted to, but we don't. We understand that there's with the war and then that times are hard for everyone. So we're looking at alternate forms of compensation, or what do you call it when you're allowed to have a waiver of time for paying?
Grace period.
Grace period. Thank you so much. I was like, it's something heavenly. Like I couldn't remember what it's called. Thank you. And I think Heck chimes in saying like something to the effect that if you the bank would be willing to transfer the titles to my name. I can let you live here and everything like that, but and I would be willing to in effect buy your debt.
So he becomes the landlord.
Basically, yeah. And then we would have to live under Heck.
Yeah, and then we would work for him.
Yeah.
So it's live under Heck or move.
Yeah, and
Oh man.
I think Jeffrey's like, we should just I don't know. Well, maybe we should just take the deal and walk. I don't want to live like our father. Our father's father built this place to be away from everyone. Ain't nobody's gonna own where we live, and that way again, and Walter is very much stewing in his own thoughts, very angry, given that he feels like he's kind of trapped and has a sense of catch-22.
Yeah.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, very very disappointed in that things have gotten to this part. I mean, he's thinking in terms of legacy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the options would be we could, if we don't move, that means Heck Gunderson would end up owning our property. But if we do move, then there's a chance of them leaving with some sort of like independent dignity, kind of,
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's what I want to set up. And the banker's got the paperwork and everything on the table. I think
of course.
That's what we have, right? Okay, so hands out once again. When I get to vote, I count down from 3. When we get to vote, we vote. Thumbs up means yes, move. Thumbs down means stay, right?
Yep.
So that's what I've been doing before, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So 3, 2, 1, vote. Wow. Okay. Then we leave. So I need help framing the scene of what we do to defy the banker and Heck. Because we be something about Walter. Walter is like, no, not like this.
He pulls out a gun, just
No. I think it's like a No Country for Old Men scene.
It's like choo choo choo.
This is like, if seriously, this would be some sort of like really long, tense, edge of your seat dialogue scene.
Yeah.
If this was a movie.
Yeah.
and we just see like Walter, like just the entire time they were talking, just like very like quiet, very stewing. We don't even hear his thoughts and stuff, but like I think near he's getting ready, and like maybe the camera sits on him for a little bit, and he starts like you see his hand kind of like like shaking a little bit, and he just like slams it on the table at sort of like the crescendo moment, and breaks the tension and says, it's like my grandpappy came across 1,400 miles from Missouri to get out of the thumb of you bankers, and I'd be damned if to see this house fallen under someone else's domain. It's like you can something, I don't know, something, I'm having trouble, something to the effect of like, you can keep this place, you can keep these horses, you can keep the corral, you can keep these stables, you can take anything you want in here, but you won't take our dignity.
Yeah.
Right, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he probably says something just like screw, like F you, heck.
Mm-hmm.
Today is our Independence Day.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm still free.
Yeah.
You can't take a guy from me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like something like it's not the land, it's not the building, it's not the horses, it's our spirit or something like that.
Yeah, it's the idea of our spirit. Yeah, it's our unbreakable will.
So, yeah, freedom.
Indomitable will is what. That would be the name of the movie.
Indomitable.
Indomitable would be the name of the movie.
One strong word, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Starring Kevin Costner
Kevin Costner
as Walter.
Jeffrey. Or no, I was thinking like Jeff Bridges as Walter.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh. So, okay. So we voted and then we move, and so that would be.
So
I think
we get everybody. Does everybody leave, and then Henry has his own horse that he's going to go to war on?
Yeah, I think I was looking to see, I want to check the rules real quick. There's nothing about the rules that say that we continue playing out the rest of the scenes. However, I feel like if we wanted to do a little bit of like an anecdote, or not anecdote, excuse me, epilogue. Thank you.
Okay, yeah.
Words. I think that would be okay. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody want to add anything about the fates of some of the people?
Well, go ahead, Adam. Or Hayden.
Yeah, I was gonna say like maybe like it's like the moving day, and like they're getting their personal effects, like the ranch property and all that, like is the banks or whatever, and then like their own personal stuff they're like packing up into like a wagon that they were able to get, and then but like Henry has his own horse and like a couple saddlebags on it, and like he puts the revolver in one of the saddlebags, and then he walks up and like shakes Walter's hand or something, and then like maybe like they have a little scene like something like Henry is yeah, you were to show your independence and your spirit by saying no to those bankers, and I have to do it by serving my country, or it's like something like that. And like so they're all going somewhere, then Henry's going away from them to actually do what he wanted to do and go to the war.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I have one for Walter, and he's probably sitting at a saloon in the town nearby, and is just like on the bar stool with a mostly empty bottle of whiskey next to him, and he's smoking a cigar and drinking the whiskey, and he's just shaking his head as he downs the rest of it.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I think we see just a scene of Sophia over at the gravestone of her mom, and put the pieces of the vase in front of the headstone.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. I want to say something about Sophia too, actually. I don't know what happens to Jeffrey. We'll figure him out later.
Whatever.
But I think that then we go from she gets back in the carriage or whatever, back on the horse, and then rides into town, and they pull up next to the newly built train station, which we see Jeffrey and Walter waving goodbye as she gets on with a couple of other young girls and like an older woman, clearly teacher outfit.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Take her off to an East Coast boarding school. Get her an education.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, nice. I like that. Nice. Okay. So that's the game.
Cool.
Let's decompress for a little bit. Let's talk about maybe what we like, what we didn't like about the game. Either about the rules of the game, or just where the story was heading and where maybe we wish it headed, perhaps, or something like what maybe if you could have played more, what you would have tried to add, or what kind of conflicts you would like to have seen, that kind of stuff, right? Any comments, ideas?
More like conflict, I think, would have been cooler. Like more physical conflict, I should say. Like, I don't know. Like maybe like a battle between some bandits and like the farmhands, and Heck and Jeffrey and Henry are not Heck, Walter, Jeffrey and Henry are fighting them off. I don't know. Maybe a little more outside conflict other than monetary problems.
Well, if we would have gotten some of the cards that
Right,
reflected
yeah.
that, you could deal
Yeah.
with the ramifications of such
Yeah.
things.
I was almost like saying like maybe like it'd be kind of nicer if like you got to pick two and then pick one of the two.
Mm.
We had like conflict, community, joy, and move. Like
Yeah.
those 4 cards were like half the time.
Yeah.
It's the exact same cards.
Maybe a bigger deck.
Yeah, my that's kind of my issue. So there's one thing that I don't want you to be able to pick whatever card you want, or like
Right,
describe any
yeah.
scene you want. Like that's not, I think the rule of framing a scene based on a card that's outside of your control is very good.
Yeah.
However, sometimes like how Hayden said, you get some sort of conflicts that are unresolvable because of the way you get dealt these cards. However, at the same time, you get really cool conflicts you never originally thought of.
Yeah.
Right? It's like a double-edged sword here, because like I would have loved to see a resolution or some extra like detail in Henry's story about the war and the conflicting and those sort of feelings. Like that's a really powerful, for me, that's a powerful idea, right?
Yeah.
To explore, and basically we couldn't based on the rules.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because we never, and there was a card in there, the departure card,
Yeah,
that lets
that would have been
character,
perfect.
and
that
that
would
would
be
be
perfect.
perfect for that. And then there's at least one more that has characters move in,
Yep, arrival.
and so
They're in the deck. They're in there. Like they just didn't get them.
We just never got them. Which
I think that there's definitely something in the way this game emulates real life, and that the story is never this arc. It's crazy. I mean, it's just like
It's up and downs. Yeah.
you don't get the nice ending in real life all the time, and that's
There's no consistent pacing to life.
yeah.
The games, I really like the game's focus more than anything. I like how you must frame every scene and even outside external problems on how it relates to home life.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I think that the idea of seeing that that almost the intimacy of where you live and what it means and who you live with, no matter what's going on around you, regardless of the fiction of like the setting, whether it's space or not. It's just I think that's the core. It's a universal human experience, and and you capture it so well. The designer captures that experience so well.
Yeah.
But yeah, being able to, I think, Adam, you're getting somewhere with sort of like, I don't want to use the Hearthstone terminology, but like discover, like the idea of choosing, like having a couple options and then selecting one.
Yeah, like draw 2, pick one, and then put the other one back in the deck or something like that. Like just so it's still very much you have to do one of these two, but like so then it would be like, oh, we got conflict again. Let's start up another conflict or whatever. Like so you could be like, oh, cool, we haven't seen Eros very much yet. Let's do another Eros instead of another community or whatever. Like just something like, and maybe not that mechanic, but like something to that effect. Like.
Or maybe at the beginning, instead of each player choosing one card to put into the deck, they chose 2 or 3.
Yeah, something like
and that would add more variability to the.
You definitely could. for longer games. So I had the opportunity to speak to the designer of this game personally, and I was asking him a couple of those kind of questions about it. And yeah, the problem though is the more you I don't want to use the word dilute, like there's some sort of like purity of the way that the game should be played, right? However, you will not be able to cycle through all the cards. The more cards you add, the less there's an individual probability of getting a particular card.
Right.
Right. That's math.
And I think from what you were saying earlier, we were choosing themes for the game. So the word dilute, I think, is very apt, because if you introduce too many themes, then the overall thematic element of the game does get diluted. I mean, even though we kept getting community and we kept getting scarcity, we chose those themes. And so we explored scarcity and we explored community, and our game was about that stuff. Yeah. So in that way, it did really work out to be thematically correct.
Correct. Oh yeah, that's a really good point too. Here's another. I'm not sure if this is valuable or not. I would actually like to playtest this, however, but I would like to take a cue from Downfall. I think if you introduce a card into the game, you must have when you draw something on the map, you should have a physical representation of that card on in a room or something.
Like, can you give an example?
Eros, perhaps you would have a bedroom or something. You would, or an intimate space that you would draw.
Yeah.
Or maybe intentionally something that you could.
Yeah.
Maybe not even that on the nose. I don't know. I have to think about this, but that's what I'm getting at. Either you add a detail to a room, or you literally do on the nose, like the room will be about this thing in a way, or your intention. I don't know.
I feel like what you're getting at is I'm thinking about, like, when you have a house, right? Like for example, I live about half an hour from the house I grew up in, and my parents still live there. And so, like, I go there now, and I can remember what it was like when I lived there, even though the house has changed and the rooms have been reorganized and my room is long gone. But so I think that there's something about, like, imbuing the memories of those experiences into the objects in the house and the rooms. That's kind of part of what adding rooms does. But you're right in that I feel like there's sometimes we just sort of lose track of what happened there, because the physical evidence is gone, and we spend so little time in the characters' heads that sometimes we lose those memories.
Yeah, we didn't. So this is actually building on what you just said there, Mark. This game, we didn't have that many physical additions to rooms or designs or anything like that. There was a lot of like breaking and repairing.
Yeah.
But there wasn't a lot of like permanent additions to rooms or rearranging of rooms, as much as I've seen in other games. And you do get to like kind of see sometimes the transition of rooms and how like you can juxtapose how we started the game versus how we ended. In a lot of ways like that. But there's nothing like a long lasting I don't know, the memories that you get, that nostalgia effect, is something that happens through play instead of bringing it in during setup, which was what I was suggesting, which makes me, that's why I was pondering and chewing on whether or not that actually would tug the game in a different way than probably as it should be. So I don't know.
We did have one item that was like that, was the revolver, which you brought up once and then came back a few times and gained more power every time we introduced it.
Yeah, and that was super cool. I think it started with the age card, right?
Yep. Yeah, it was awesome. Walter giving Henry the revolver.
Yeah.
You're a man.
Yeah, that was very cool too. I like the same thing could be impacted by different cards.
Yeah. Cool. Any other closing thoughts, guys?
This was a lot of fun. I think that it was very thematically and tonally different from the only other time I've played this game, which was I mentioned it in the Twitch chat, but it was Rent was our like inspiration. So it was like late 80s warehouse where like a bunch of just bohemian loft like artists were living there together, and it was very different from that. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
cool. Awesome. So let's transition, do some outros here, and then we'll get going, guys. So, let's go around how we started. So, Mark, once again, how about you remind everybody who you are, how people can find you, or if you do anything cool,
Sure.
maybe games you've designed.
So I'm Mark Hobbs. My wife and I have a game design group. We're a business, I guess, Less Than 3 Games, which you can find online, lessthan3games.com. I am not really, I almost never use my Twitter, but it is listed there, the hint guy. My wife does tweet a lot. Her name on Twitter is Paint Puddle. And Caroline recently released Downfall. We also have a game you can download for free. It's 2 players. It's called One Missed Call. And I'm working on a game at this point called Eden, which is also sort of a map drawing game about talking to animals and learning about good and evil. So I'm actively working on that, hoping to kickstart it at some point in the next few months here.
Yay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
hey, if you ever wanted to play test it, if it's good for online play, you should let me know.
I'll talk to you about that, definitely.
Cool. Yeah, I'd love to do that sometime. Awesome. So, moving around the horn here, then, Tux, what's up?
Hello. I had a lot of fun. I think last night was the first time I've ever heard of this game, and then I got to play it today, which is super cool. And I had a lot of fun with it. I would definitely like to play it again, like exploring a different theme or a different like time or whatever, just to see how it could play out differently. But yeah. So I am Adam. I'm Tuxtradamus. I stream and do other game stuff like that. Tabletop, video games, all that kind of stuff. I appear in a lot of different channels and have my own stuff. Twitch.tv/Tuxtradamus and Twitter.com/Tuxtradamus is where I'll tweet out if I'm doing anything. So yeah, thanks for having me on. It was super fun.
Rumor has it you're formulating and starting some kind of game involving a urban thing of darkness, of maybe some shadows, perhaps.
I'm starting up a kind of similar thing to Once Upon a Game, where it's like a revolving cast. Like anybody, like it'll be like a sign up thing. Whoever can come to a session can sign up for it. It's going to be using the Urban Shadows rule set game, the game made by, I think it's Magpie Games.
Yep. Mark Diaz Truman's game.
It's Powered by the Apocalypse game. Basically, the theme that I've been pitching to everybody is The Wire meets Supernatural. So it's basically like it takes place in a big city, and there's like factions vying for control over it, and we focus on the characters and how they deal with all of that and owing different people. The game's very much based on debts and like you owing somebody, and then people calling in those debts, and whether you're going to go in on the debt or refuse to honor it. And then we throw in wizards and vampires and werewolf gangs and fae people that are the mayor, and they'll do stuff with that. Yeah, it's really it looks really cool, and I'm starting that up pretty soon. So I'll put the link to the. Oh, that's not the link at all.
Yeah.
I'll put the link in chat to like it's just a Google form, like show your interest thing, just so I can get everybody that's interested in it, and then.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's so cool.
Awesome.
It'll be a thing. I'll get that. But
Cool.
yeah,
I can't wait. I would love to be a member of that sometime.
Yeah, I would too. That sounds awesome.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of a lot of Truman's work, so I would love to. And like, and Urban Shadows has a soft spot in my heart right now because that's the one game of Once Upon a Game. Actually, I guess now Kakamatsu is the second one now.
Yeah.
These are the 2 games. They're my my white rabbits.
White whale.
Yeah, my white whale. Yeah, like I set them up, and these are the games these are the only 2 games I've actually had to cancel before and alter on the fly. But each time I did that and we altered, I still had an amazing time. Like this was a really good game. This game definitely. I'm sorry, I know we're doing outros, and Hayden, I'm not forgetting you. I don't. Maybe chat will disagree with me, but like, I feel like this game is very listenable. It's very enjoyable because you just take turns telling these scenes, and it really for me this game feels like a movie more than anything. I've done a lot of games. It just time progresses slowly, and you're just building into these stories, and you're seeing these arcs move in a very intimate way.
What's that game called?
It also works really well for a one-shot format.
Yeah.
Because you can
definitely.
do the entire story in that short amount of time. Unless you never draw the move card, then.
And it's prepless. Like,
Yeah.
we talked for maybe 20 minutes about the game.
Yeah.
I mean, most of it was me rambling at the start about story games. So, like, that's where most of our time went at the start.
Yeah. I put the link in chat to the like show your interest thing. So if you are interested, you can do that, and it's basically just what's your name, how do you want to be contacted when I'm ready to start getting people. But yeah, if you're interested, fill that out, and that's basically me. I'm doing that. I'm doing game stuff. I'll be here back Wednesday for mixtape.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. So Hayden.
All right, I am DL Hyperion on Twitter. I tweet very rarely, and when I do, it's probably retweets of something like a game designer said or something like that. I am trying to start a video game streaming soon. So twitch.tv/Hyperion1138. And yeah, I'm probably going to start with either Knights of the Old Republic 1 or 2. So yeah.
It's a good game.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. And so everyone who tuned in maybe late, I'm Eric. I'm EricVulgaris. I'm the host of Once Upon a Game. This is a tri-week. No, it happens 3 times a week. Whatever you call it.
Yeah, tri-weekly.
I do this 3 times a week: Sundays, Mondays, and Wednesdays. This week we're doing a double play test of a friend of mine's game called Mixtape, which will be about you guys coming up with a idea for a mixtape for addressed to somebody or a group or something like that, and coming up with the tracks and what they mean and the themes and the elements of that. So this would be really cool. This is the designer is one of their first games, but he's a good friend of mine. He's been working on this idea for a while, and I'm excited that he has the rules and everything set up, and he's going to be actually facilitating the game, and I just get to sit here and have fun as well, which is be cool.
Sweet.
So, yeah, excited for that. I would love to do more play tests for games and that kind of stuff. If anybody has.
I know. Our mutual friend Nick has
Yes.
got something in the works.
Yeah, teen necromancer drama.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Sounds-
Neophyte Necrolite, otherwise
Yeah.
called Neon. Yeah.
So I'm looking forward for that kind of stuff. So yeah, because I love being able to talk at the end about what we liked and didn't like, and kind of decompress a little bit.
The postmortem is really important.
Oh
Yeah. Yeah. Normally, what I do when I'm done playing games is that we usually just go to a bar and talk about it and drink and eat food. But this is an acceptable substitute. So it's a more affordable substitute. So,
Yeah.
All right. So that would do it for me today. There's no more streams for me today. Normally I stream The Witcher and then some random stuff in the evening. However, I have a Twitch Seattle meetup to go to this afternoon. So I'll be doing that. So thank you guys so much. Once again, Mark, Hayden, Adam, thank you so much for playing with me. Chat, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I know I don't interact that much with you guys when we're playing, only because there's so many things going on and I'm listening so intently. It's kind of a bad thing, I guess, for me, because I know you guys are commenting, and I promise I'm reading everything you say. I just can't always respond to it. So I love you guys so much for hanging out with me today, and hanging out with us today. And so if you're not already following me, I'd really appreciate if you just hit that follow button and tune in and watch more Once Upon a Game, and play more games. Since I'm not streaming today, if you're not doing anything, play some games with some people. Join me on my Discord server. I'm sure people there can point you to how to play some role-playing games. No experience required. All you gotta do is have fun. Bring your imagination. So that's it for today. So take care, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See you.